The dish I'm going to cook for you now is braised beef in prune juice and Guinness. So we have our brisket, we have our Norwich beef, onions, garlic, and to garnish we have the prunes and the bacon. So we take our onions and just roughly chop. Take a couple of garlics, just slice quite coarsely. Let's not forget they're going to break down in the cooking. 4 hours is a long time in the oven. Dash of oil in the pan, add your onions and garlic. Take your brisket. When I braise, I like to braise in large chunks, less shrinkage. And you know, there's something rather nice about having a big chunk of meat on your plate, which is being braised beautifully. Just break it up. And when you're caramelising your beef, it's always nice to have a cast iron pan, a thick base frying pan. It helps with caramelisation. I have a kilo of brisket of beef. I just put them in my pan. And so while we're caramelising the onions and the garlic, we do the same with the beef. Brisket is a very good meat to braise. It really is, but I think the problem people have with braising is they have little small cuts of meat. Very hard to caramelise, and it tends to break down. What you want to see is those large chunks of beef, so it's a real proper stew. Okay, add your beef to the fried onions. Now, 1 bottle of Guinness to begin with, and about equal quantities of prune juice. Approx 330 ml Guinness, and approx 330, 350 prune juice. And then 1 Norwich beef stock pot. Beef in Guinness is nothing new. People have been doing it for many, many years. And so, as I've always said, we live in a world of refinement, not invention. But what the prune juice does, it just gives it that nice balance. Because for me personally, beef in Guinness is just that little bit too strong. And by adding the rich beef, it gives it that great richness of flavour, which is needed in a stew, if we're honest. And so as you can see now, before we've even started the real cooking in the oven, you can see the richness within it. And so its key is the stock pot. But by bringing things in around it, putting it all together, it becomes a very delicious dinner cooked properly. So now this is ready to go in the oven. 140, 150, for approx 3.5 to 4 hours. The beef has been braising for approximately 4 hours, just short. So by the time our beef is ready, the garnish will be complete. So we have 2 frying pans, one for the prunes, one for the bacon, a little clarified butter. If you don't have any butter, then use sunflower oil, it's simple. I like to cook my bacon quite chunky for my lardons, because it's quite a chunky dish is the beef stew. If it was something a little finer, then I'd cut them smaller. But I think you've got to take into consideration the size of those pieces of meat, and also these are going to shrink down. In with your prunes. The prunes were put into cold water, brought to the boil and cooked for 5 minutes. Refreshed and drained. 5 minutes before we're serving it, just in a little butter. Same with the bacon. Cut into chunks, cold water, bring to the boil, drain it, fry it. And there's our beef, which has now been cooking for 4 hours. As you can see, that combination of prune juice, Guinness and rich beef together creates the richest of stocks. And then what we do, again then sprinkle your prunes on, and then add our bacon. One thing I've never understood is meanness with garnish. And there we have our braised beef in Guinness with prunes and with bacon.